it is the prime directive. We must grow. We must grow and expand. There is no option. We either grow or we don't exist here. So that is the bottom line. It is the law will not relinquish itself. Welcome to Call for the Truth. I am LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tarvars of the Sun, and we welcome you to our conversation about evolution today. Tarvars, before we begin, will you bring us into the Call for Truth?
Well, certainly. We encourage you all to join us within the Call for the Truth. Should we call forth the frequency of truth? Should we call to see the truth in all that we see? Should we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Should we call to speak the truth, calling forth the courage to speak the truth? Should we call forth the courage to speak the truth, calling forth nothing less than the truth to come forward into our experience? And we are here within the truth.
And I feel the truth.
Moving through the throat.
Yes.
Blue, radiant energy. And we are talking today, as you say, about evolution.
Yes.
Our card pulled today from the Call for the Truth Divination deck is Evolution, Crown Chakra, Rooftop.
Yes.
Maxim is the higher frequencies disrupt the interference patterns that would rob us of our elevation. The universe will not be denied. Evolution will not wait. The book simply states resistance is futile.
Yes.
All right, so we got a couple of things going on here, and if we could take this bite by bite, so to say. Higher frequencies disrupt the interference patterns that would rob us of our elevation. We being robbed, LaOta? Is somebody strong arming us? Somebody, give me the elevation. I'm taking the elevation.
And bit by bit, bite by bite.
Okay, so, however, we got a tool to offset this. We don't have to be robbed at energetic gunpoint, so to say, of our high state of being, our energy, our life force, our power. High frequencies disrupt this. So, like, what do you mean by that?
So the Earth and the system that is Earth has been designed for high frequencies. In the many iterations of Earth, this is the sixth Earth. 5 have destroyed themselves. This is the sixth one. That as we get closer and closer to the destruction of the planet, the forces that are incongruent with high elevations are most prevalent. So the analogy would be the idea of a swamp. Like that a swamp was not necessarily always a swamp. It may have been at some point a lush landscape and experience that eventually over time attracted, because of its frequencies, things that suck blood, things that mosquitoes, things that snakes, things that are against life in general, or against life that doesn't live at that frequency. So that's what we are collectively experience, is the analogy of what was a sunny day on a prospering, beautiful green landscape is a world turning into a swamp at every level and degree. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a great analogy and shows direct correlation of how frequency influences the material world,
Yes.
influences environment, influences the behavior within the environment, shifting from more of a symbiotic, supportive, interconnected to more of a predatory, prey,
Yes.
parasitic type of dynamic.
Yes.
Operating outside of the system of its design.
Yes. Although it is, it's part of it, but it's a small part of it that has overgrown its usefulness. so to say, and it's taking over the landscape. It's not unlike a lush green area that becomes a desert. It's the same idea. So how much of our world is becoming deserts, how much of our world is becoming swamps, is a good analogy to the sunlight and the fresh water and the green experience and the healthy animals, which would be the original idea. So that's the, from there, evolution can take place. From the swamp, evolution may take place, but it may be greatly delayed. And from a desert, evolution can take place, but you'd have to grow something first. It'd have to be in sync. It would have to gain the frequencies of life itself when it's in the frequencies of anti-life. So the evolution part is that the design was for evolution, but because the consciousness that lives upon the planet, on the earth, is not in support or respect of the sun and the earth and the water and the ether and all of the original components that are necessary, they have been overwhelmed. And so now there's going to be a split where, because of the law, that you get to have what you want. So those who want a certain experience, especially one where they don't honor their brains and they don't honor their technology, their physicality, so they're willing to turn it over to something lesser that they don't know where that's going to take them. And then there are those who honor and are thankful for their bodies, their brains, and their the planet itself. So that's where we stand in this dynamic of choosing. Those who are choosing to have the experience of having technology implanted in their brains and running their world have that freedom to do so. And those who want to go back to the original blueprint, we have been instrumental in helping kick open the door where that can happen. We hear it on the sun. So that's exciting.
Indeed, indeed. So let's go to the second part here where it says, the universe will not be denied.
Yes.
Evolution will not wait. You know, the way that got me feeling, it's like, ooh, man. I'm piss the universe off now. Not so much that we're going to get in trouble, but it has this feel of, like, it don't matter what you think right now. It don't matter about your limitation. The evolutionary process, like, oh, it don't even matter what it looked like right now on the environmental scape.
Right.
For humans, like, evolution is going to happen.
Yes.
That feels powerful.
It is. It is powerful. And it is the prime directive. We must grow. We must grow and expand. There is no option. We either grow or we don't exist here. So that is the bottom line. It is, the law will not relinquish itself.
Like, how long you gonna sit on the floor with the poopy diaper thinking you are the it?
Yeah, that has its own expiration date.
Yeah.
It has its own expiration date. So we have to grow from the blueprint. We can't, like, decide, okay, I'm gonna write a new blueprint because I know, because I took a weekend class and I know I can write the blueprint. And the new blueprint is put batteries in your head. See how good that is?
You know,
I can stick I can stick a little tiny battery in each ear.
I want to laugh, but I saw something that correlated with that. Not so much the battery in the head part, but there was a clip I saw of a young lady who was on some type of spiritual journey, and she began to say, we got to stop trapping ourselves by all these laws. She wasn't talking about man-made laws. She was She was talking about like the universal laws and the framework of existence in which consciousness functions. Like, no, you free of that. I'm like, you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna hurt yourself. You gonna hurt yourself. And this is not good. I had to swipe. I bookmarked it because I'm like, you gonna be a reference point. But it was a little scary because we have humans out here who are like, nah, ignore that. And when I hear the idea of evolution and what it contains, and when you use language like prime directive, it's just like there is like no real getting away from that, and
No.
it's like a separation that has intently been applied,
Yeah.
that you don't realize that you part of that.
There used to be a commercial with an egg and a frying pan that would say like, "This is a brain."
This is your brain on drugs. That thing frying, smoking, like they'll leave it in there too. It won't even look like a good egg. Overdone.
That's what you said just reminded me of.
Yeah, because
It's
it
like,
is.
oh, you're going to teach yourself and ignore all of the history and all of the millennia and all of the millions of years of creation because you had an idea?
Yes, ma'am. That's basically what.
Well,
That's basically what happened.
I submit to you that you may go down that path, and thankfully, the beneficent law in the universe that makes you eternal will give you all the time you need to work that out. You know, like,
Yeah.
go right ahead. You know, like,
So my reason for bringing this up is because evolution feels like a prime directive, like a law, a principle, like something that is literally encoded into all aspects of creation. And it feels like, remember earlier I was like, if you were talking about how like essentially like, I'm going to paraphrase because this is not exactly what you said, but like you will hurt yourself if you go against this. If humans do not get with the program of evolution, we're going to hurt ourselves. I mean, we already are, you know, but I think...
I would say so. But it's not just humans, it's the greater galaxy and the more expanded universe. The laws and principles are the beneficent gifts from Source to help us navigate. So I have it on direct authority because I have talked to the consciousness of existence, and existence said to be, mere existence is not enough. You will exit, you will become irrelevant, you will not be able to live because you must do something to promote and be of service to life. Service is key to self and to others. So if you like, forget the laws, I will just dance on the moon every day forever, unless I feel like doing something else. Well, where in fact we are free. We are so free that we imprison ourselves in ideas like that. We're so free, we're like, I'm going to get rid of all the laws. And there's no force in Source, so Source is like, have at it. Let's see where you know, I'm interested too. You know, like,
right? Energetic popcorn.
yeah, it's like, what are you know, where are you going with this? The laws are here to assist us. Like one of the laws is to be of service. That is a law that serves you. Like, it's not like you have to walk around and be a slave to someone else. It's like you are in service to what you are, which is humanity, or the earth plane, and all of that you are part of because you are one with everything. You're in service to the trees or the flowers, you're in service to self. That's a good law.
It sounds like it, but that requires having that perception of your divinity. I'm divine, you divine, we divine, and you know, it's like, nah, it's only me.
But it's really not like there's a problem with that. It has already been considered. There's no death. You can be in kindergarten as many times as you want to be. You can spend as many lifetimes repeating until you get it, until, you know, that expires. There is eventually an expiration, but you have essentially, you're immortal. So, the reason that exists is because everybody's not learning at the same level. Everybody wasn't created at the same level. There is no equal, there is only equal opportunity. There is no equal. There's only, you have the opportunity to learn over time like everybody else. Not that all things are the same thing. An orange is not an apple.
Alex, you're the owner of LaOta Group. How is LaOta Group changing how investors buy and store gold?
Most people think buying gold means walking into a store and hoping you're getting the right price. We've built a LaOta Group to erase that friction and modernize how the world owns gold. At LaOta, we're merging centuries of trust with 21st century technology. Investors can now buy institutional-grade gold, refined, verified, and insured, with the same simplicity as buying a stock. But the real innovation is in custody. Every ounce is vaulted in top-tier facilities, audited independently, and fully allocated, meaning it's yours, not a promise on paper. Whether you're in Dubai, London, or Singapore, you can verify your holdings in real time and even request physical delivery. We've removed the mystery from gold ownership and replaced it with transparency, liquidity, and control. LaOta Group isn't selling gold. We're restoring trust in money itself. Because the future of gold isn't old-fashioned. It's personal, digital, and deliverable.
No, it's not. A daisy is not a money tree. Everything is not equal. Everything is individualized so that we can see the beauty of that individualization. So we get to learn from your lesson. Like, ooh, look at him, resists evolution. Ooh, we get to watch that. We can play that back and see it. Like, ooh, this is what happens. Ooh, look what happened when he was 200 years old. Ooh, what happened when he was 500? Ooh, what happened when he didn't get it? The universe will not be denied. It will not be that which made you is denied the outcome of your excellence and your exaltation. Because its exaltation is in you. So it's like, it can be brought forward, especially if you would like it to be brought forward. And if you don't care for it and you don't want it, then you may delay your process. Or you may choose not to have that process. This is a free choice universe. You can choose to do nothing. And then you get to learn where that takes you. And we all get to see it like, ooh, look, there's a video of the one who decided to do nothing. We can pull it up in our mind. We can look at it psychically. So I don't know if that's...
No, this is very on point. So how does this tie, like everything that you're saying is landing, how does all of that tie into the Crown Chakra?
Well, this is our relationship with every living thing, plants included, animals and humans. We receive our fuel through the Crown Chakra. Those of us who are on the face of the planet or inside the planet, we are fueled by the sun, which is, so to say, our gasoline, or it's what will feed us. So the Crown Chakra is a similar idea. People get attached to other people, and they can have the power to transfer getting their energy from another. But ultimately, the design was you get your energy from the Crown Chakra. So every living being is pulling on the energy of Source for nourishment. And then there are other things within our environment that give it to us too. So when you choose not to get that, or if you choose to get your nourishment from your minister or your husband or your mother or your brother or whoever you get it from, then they become your source of fuel. Good luck with that.
Yeah. The gas station might not be open. When are you going to fill up at?
Yeah, what happens if they don't get enough minerals in their food?
True that.
What
And then
happens
you left
if
with the leftovers.
Yes, what happens if, they're fasting but they got fuel for one and you two? Like you trying to, if you're not a nursing mother and those mechanisms are not in play, you're not going to be able to substantiate another person because you weren't designed to be the source of their energy. The sun is our fuel on the earth plane, and the source is our fuel in the seventh chakra. So I don't know if that explains it.
It does. I think it really lays it out simply in terms of what the card is speaking to and really what's needed for humanity on all levels of the human experience. In our day-to-day walk with
Yes.
ourselves, our personal health, spiritual development, etc., relationships, and the world that we live in collectively.
Yes, the importance of examining our lives enough to see this which is self-evident. It is evident if you sit and think about it and think about the process of how humans come into the world and how they feed, and then how humans live on planet Earth. Remember, this is a planet. It was planned to be this way. So we are here in a plan. We're in the plan, and the way the plan works, it would be good to pay attention. How does the planet work? How does this system that we are in, how is it? And it's obvious, it's observable. We don't have to jump to conclusions. We can see how people are fueled. They're fueled by the sun and then by the things that are in the sun, that the things that eat the things that the sun makes.
Yes.
We can see how that process works. And if you decide not to be part of that process, do you disconnect yourself from all of the sustenance that you need to be animated in the system of the plan?
Disconnect, it sounds kind of hard to do, even
Yeah.
when we're trying, because humans trying real hard to sever the connection, but it's like you can't.
Well, there are examples of, in the lexicon, there are examples of what looks like future humans who have chosen different paths. And so there is this understanding that it will not go well, that we could change the blueprint and the chemistry of the human itself, and the human becomes something else unless we stick with the plan, which is evolution, where we choose to evolve through our own efforts and our desire to be one with everything, to be of service to everything. Just those things will help you evolve. Just the idea of being in service, just the idea of understanding oneness allows expansion, where I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. It does not have the same expansion in it.
No, don't. So I think this very succinctly speaks to the idea of the crown chakra, how it relates to harmonizing with the natural flow current of evolution. And don't fight it, because it's futile. That current is moving. It makes me think about a saying, you can come back on a short bus. Universe goes, oh, you got one leg? Put him back in the game.
Yeah, I remember being told that this was long ago. I remember having a conversation with a level of guidance, and I was asking questions. Well, what if a person is rebellious and they don't want to do it, and they commit suicide or they jump off a building? And my guidance told me, we will bandage you up, put you back in the game. So you have another opportunity to get clarity. I'm like, oh.
They said it with so much care, too.
Yes. It's like there is
Detachment.
no, you don't have to be upset. You don't have to be angry. We don't have to be mad. We could just have clarity. I see where you're going. I see what you're about to do. I recommend you don't. Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
See you next time around. It doesn't have to be where it can't be resolved. It just means that you went out sideways, which is what the old people used to call it.
Yeah, I've
You
heard
go
that.
out sideways.
Yeah. Oh, Billy boy, he went out sideways, boy.
Yeah. Instead
Yeah.
of going, the way that
Yeah.
that the blueprint is. So much is being questioned right now about what really happens when we expire and what really happens when we come back. But all of those things are available for us to know through deep meditation. And the answers are all within the knowing. So none of it escapes us. We're not unable to make choices that would change the trajectory. But we will not, the universe will not be denied the truth of what was put into each being. So it doesn't necessarily mean that every being will do the same thing, but there will be a harvest of what was given to us as divinity. There will be those who are divine. How long that'll take?
Yeah, it's relative.
Yes. In a place when you realize you're immortal, how long has less meaning. So that's what I have on that.
Yeah, thank you again. This is, again, a very stimulating conversation. This gives us much to think on, especially as we're moving into the Crown Chakra for light body movement.
Yes, and being in respect of all of the energy systems that have been put into the divine plan of the sacredness of the human and the sacredness of all of life. I think the most important thing, if someone were to ask me, what's one of the most important things, is what Archangel Michael said to me. All life is life. All life. Little tiny life, great big life, it's mountains and ants, it's all life. I think that's a very important thing to understand, and then you can see yourself in the scheme of things. So, are we?
Yeah, that's it.
So we thank you for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed this conversation about evolution, and we give you the greetings of Invocation Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.